The Tree of Evolution, Part 2. I'd like to look at another part of the tree now, and in my mind, I'm going back to when my oldest son was in kindergarten. He brought home a book and he showed it to me. It was a book of birds, and the book started out, "We know all birds, like reptiles, came from fish." And my son had this book in 1979 or 80. Now let's look at the part of the evolutionary tree that sentence would reference. A form that was thought to be a transition from fish to reptile was Tiktaalik. It had a bone structure in the front fins that suggested it might be able to support itself on ground in shallow waters. It was thought to be a big discovery. And I'd like to make the point here that Tiktaalik was discovered in 2004, not in 1980 or 1979 when my son read the sentence, "We know all birds, like reptiles, came from fish." The author of that book obviously did not know that. That was a bald-faced lie. They thought that that was true, but they did not know that. You don't understand evolution. An evolutionist scientist should teach you. You know, I get a little bit tired of that. Here's a book by Neil Shubin, one of the paleontologists who discovered Tiktaalik. Good book. I've read it. Have you? A later discovery, Elpistostege, is now placed above Tiktaalik in the development because they find the fin has some kind of differentiation that may have led to this animal having fingers, a development beyond Tiktaalik. A full skeleton of Elpistostege was not discovered till 2010, and the study of it that brought this evidence to light did not occur till around 2020. 30 years after my son read a book wherein was a sentence that began, "We know, blah, blah, blah." Which leads me to another point that keeps coming up, that most Christians believe in evolution. And why would that be? Because evolution is true? No, because from childhood, everyone, Christians, non-Christians alike, have been bombarded with sentences like that. We know, blah, blah, blah. We know, blah, blah, blah. It's a fact that, blah, blah, blah. It's the theory of evolution. The word theory in science means something different than it does in math, to which I just roll my eyes. Don't play word games. Look at evidence. The old thing, if you tell a lie often enough, eventually everyone believes it. Look at any nature documentary presented by anyone and it starts out, 5 million years ago there was this and blah, 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 blah. The simple answer to that is Christians believe evolution because they don't understand that they don't have to believe it. Back when I was a kid, coelacanth was thought to be one of the fossils in this evolutionary chain. And then a weekly reader came in. Remember weekly readers? They were great, so interesting. My weekly reader said, "Oh, a coelacanth has just been caught live off the coast of Madagascar." Note also that in this portion of the evolutionary tree, there's a node where a couple of examples are thought to have arisen from a common ancestor, and that node again is blank. The evolutionary tree is a great example of what I call science of the gaps fallacy. Christian friends, understand that There is not a need to bow to the theory, yes, theory of evolution.